Welcome to RSSDI TV 2020 brought to you by Wokhart. I am Dr. Ruchi Shah and on behalf of Wokhart RSSDI TV 2020, I welcome you all. I am glad to have with us today renowned dietitian from Chennai, Mrs. Meenakshi Bajaj. Ma'am is dietitian from Tamil Nadu Government Multi Super Speciality Hospital. She has a rich clinical experience in managing diabetes patients. Welcome Mrs. Meenakshi Bajaj to the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, ma'am, based on your recent talk in RSSDI 2020 on how to meet the protein requirements in vegans, which is a very interesting topic, we would like to know from you, why is the importance of vegan diet and why should an individual go for a vegan diet?
See, basically, when we talk of vegan diet, we need to understand that we are discarding few food groups. We are discarding on meat, poultry, seafood, and dairy food. So we are missing a major chunk of, basically, in a local man's language, protein-rich food. We are missing out on our diet. That's the vegan diet. So that's the concept behind the whole thing. But why does one follow a vegan diet? There's enough evidence to tell us that more than cosmetic health, the metabolic health is very, very important. So when I talk of metabolic health, I mean to say our glycemic control, whether it's the lipid profile, whether it's the insulin resistance, whether it's the insulin sensitivity, or when it comes to gut health. All of this is based on what we eat. And if we are going to choose on vegan diet, definitely we are improving our entire metabolic health pattern. Not only that, it's more sustainable and it's more climate friendly because there is a reduction in the global warming when we choose on vegan diet or vegetarian diet for that matter. But here we are going to be talking specifically on vegan diet.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, the next question is, what are the nutrients of concern when the person is a vegan?
There is a myth, basically that one is deficient in protein when they choose on a vegan diet. But here my talk has actually clarified the myth that it is deficient in protein diet. Basically, when we talk of protein, we have to remember the high biological value protein, the complete protein, wherein we have all the essential and the limiting amino acids together put out in one particular food. So basically, when we talk of a reference protein food or a good quality protein food, we talk of milk, we talk of egg, basically. But then there are vegan sources like soy, like quinoa, as well as spinach. It's like a shock. When I started preparing for this vegan presentation, only I realized that spinach, soy, and quinoa are sort of complete. The other vegetarian sources of, plant sources are basically either deficient in one or two amino acids. This all of us are aware when it comes to cereal and pulse combination. That's why we choose on, complementing the proteins in order to meet up the methionine and lysine. Whereas we understand here, spinach, quinoa, as well as soy, all the three are sort of complete proteins with, no deficiency in any of the amino acids. But it's important to understand that they need to be bioavailable. They are not completely bioavailable. So we need to make them bioavailable by making strategic planning. In other sense, that if you want the protein to be bioavailable when it comes to soy, you need to choose on processed soy. Something like that. A small tweak in our, preparation technique will make it more bioavailable. And if you see, as simple as, suppose, if you look at the RDA, the recent RDA tells us that we don't need to go as high as 1 gram of protein. It's not high, but 1 gram of protein we've been living all these years, that's the RDA. But now it has come down to 0.8 grams. So a normal healthy individual from a female to a male requires only 45 to 55 grams of protein. That's the requirement. Unless and until, one is pregnant, lactating, or you're an athletic, or you're having a wound healing, you're planning for surgery, or you're having a cachexia disease where your protein requirement goes up. But even then that can be met with a vegan diet. For example, you skip out the milk, have 260 grams of cereals, 90 grams of pulses, 20 grams of nuts, and about 200 grams of spinach and other vegetables, say about 150 grams. You're able to easily is 45 to 50 grams, 45 to 55 grams of protein. You need to step up a little more. You need to step up a little more on the pulses, make them more bioavailable by sprouting them, fermenting them, so that the anti-nutritional factors are out and they are more bioavailable to your system.
Okay, great, ma'am. So, ma'am, the last question, what are the vegan sources of a complete protein?
So, when I talk to you of the nutrients of concern, first was protein. So, we've met the protein. The next we talk of is calcium. Obviously, you can meet the calcium from the green leafy vegetables and the nuts. So they are available. Now, zinc is an important thing, which is majorly found in seafood and oysters. We don't consume as much of oysters. We do consume seafood, but when it comes to zinc, even the non-vegetarian sources, unless they're consuming a lot of oysters, you may not be able to meet your zinc requirement. That is why even in this COVID pandemic, so many of them are on zinc supplements. So where as and when you require a very high dose of zinc, you may have to think of supplementation. But otherwise, if you are to inactivate the phytates present in the nuts and the whole grams, that is the chana, rajma, all the whole gram variety, if you just sprout them, ferment them, the phytates become inactive and the zinc is bioavailable to your system. The other thing is iodine. All of us are used to iodized salt. Those who are vegetarians or non-vegetarians, if you don't consume seafood also, you'll end up with iodine deficiency. So we are choosing on iodized salt. And vitamin D, you know very well that food sources are not a major source, but unless and until you choose on fortified cooking oils, like fortified breakfast cereals, you can meet out the vitamin D. So the zinc, the calcium, the protein, the iron. Iron also, you need to add on more of vitamin C and cut off the phytates and the tannins from your diet, space your calcium and iron. You can majorly, to some extent, meet up your iron-rich foods from garden cress seeds, roasted Bengal gram, rice flakes. There is a list just goes on. The dried dates, little bit of jaggery, a lot of drumstick leaves. All of this add on together, you can even meet up your iron requirement. So when it comes to the vegan sources of protein, as I've already mentioned to you, you need to choose on Nutri cereals. Nutri cereals, I need to say by Little Millets, but they also have goitrogenic factors which need to be, deactivated with the right method of processing and cooking. So choose on Nutri cereals, choose on a lot of oats, a lot of quinoa. In greens, choose more on spinach because it's more so a complete protein than the other green leafy vegetables. Nuts can be soaked and sprouted. Instead of milk, you can choose on soy milk, tofu. You can also choose on rice, hemp milk, nut milk. All these sources will give you the adequate protein required for a person.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your views on these protein requirements in vegans. Stay tuned to RSSDI TV 2020, brought to you by Wockhardt, for such more recent and relevant updates from the RSSDI 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.